everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, the Warriors of Chaos, that's me, versus Lord of the Leaves of the Wood Elves. That's right. After whooping his candy ass last game, he's revamped his list and taken a lot of advice from you guys, and I appreciate that a lot, actually. The better my opponents are, the better I'll be, or at least that's the logic I'm going to adhere to. But yeah, his list has changed somewhat, and I'm sure it'll change again after this game. Right after me and him got done playing, him and Death started playing, so I know his list will get revamped. Death has been talking to him about Wood Elves. Hell, Death is talking about starting up Wood Elves, so we may have started something here. It might go viral. But by all means, if you see anything else in his list you would like to give him a suggestion or whatever, he might not comment, but he reads all of them. And yeah, so let's get right into it. This is my list. This is my Shiloh 2014 Army list. This is the last game I got to play before the Shiloh, unless I get a game in on Friday when we drive up there. But yeah, if you've seen any of my recent battle reports, then you know what this list is. But in case you haven't, my General/Lord is my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Mark of Tzeentch. He's level 3 Wizard, Chaos Armor, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, other Trickster Shard, Soul Feeder, Scaled Skin, Flaming Breath, and the Laura Metal. My hero choices are my Exalted Hero, Catalyst, the Keeper of the Colors. He's got the Mark of Tzeentch, he's my BSB. He's got a Halberd, Chaos Steed, Helm of Many Eyes, and the Dawnstone. My second Exalted Hero is Berserk. He's got the Mark of Khorne, he's got an extra hand weapon, Luckstone, Dragon Helm, and the Crown of Command. Last but not least is my Chaos Sorcerer, Saval, the Mercenary of Chaos. He's got the Mark of Tzeentch, he's a level 2 wizard, he's on the demonic mount, the Pack Hog. He's got the Warrior Bane, Enchanted Shield, Skull of Catan, Talisman of Protection, and uses the Lore of Tzeentch. My core choices are 5 Chaos Warhounds with Scaled Skin, 23 Chaos Warriors, Blood Tide, with Mark of Khorne, Full Command, Halberds, and Banner of Fury. And of course there's my Chariot, the Vessel of Change, with the Mark of Tzeentch. My special choices are 5 Chaos Knights, the Teeth of Tzeentch, with Mark Tzeentch, Ensorcelled Weapons, Band of Musician, and the Standard of Discipline. And my rare choices are 3 Skull Crushers, Khorne's Wrath, with Band of Musician, Lances, the Banner of Swiftness. And while I'm recording this, my wife is in the room, so I'm going to really ham it up for the Mutalith Vortex. Yep, that's right. My wife married a mega nerd. She enjoys it. Or at least she fakes that she enjoys it. I don't know. This is my opponent's list. This is slightly different from his last one. His General/Lord is a Wood Elf Highborn with the Bow of Lauren, Arcane Bodkins, Talisman of Endurance, Altered Kindred, and the Stone of the Crystal Mirror. Yeah, he's kind of a pain. He's also got a Spellweaver with a level 4 Wizard, Divine Orb, Rhymer's Harp, and the Lore of Life. His hero choices are his Wood Elf Noble, who is his BSB with the Annoyance of Netlings and the Razor Standard. He also has a Spell Singer with a Dispel Scroll, and they were a level 2 Wizard with the Lore of Wood Elf, Athelorian or whatever it is. His core choices were 19 Glade Guard with full command, 12 other Glade Guard with a Musician, 2 units of 11 Dryads. His special choices were 8 Way Watchers. I think they're special. If they're rare, my bad. I don't know what the hell they go. But he has 8 of them. And then he's got 6 Treekin. And his rare choice was Treeman. These are my spells. 3 from Metal, 2 from Tzeentch, and 1 from the Beast. And these are his spells. 4 from Life. You can kind of see what they are. And then he got Tree Singing and Regen for his level 2 from the Wood Elf lore. Here's deployment. For the most part, it's a lot of the same. The Skull Crushers were over on the right flank to stop any scouts you might have from getting an easy in. I was unaware that Way Watchers don't give a crap about the 12-inch, gap that has to be around. So that kind of sucked. When I saw where he put them, I thought he was going to shoot my Knights off the table, but their fate was in someone else's hands. But anyway, my Knights, my Warriors, and my Dogs were going to go straight up the middle to deal with his larger core. I really wanted to get a hold of his Glaive Guard again with the PSP and the Caster in there because I knew that was his level 4, and I didn't really know what I was going to do about the Treeman. I was thinking Searing Doom since I got it, or maybe one of Saval's spells. I got blue and pink fire, so I was hoping to maybe be able to mess with him that way. Meanwhile, the chariot was going to go, he was going to be my pivot man. He would either go towards the center or go over towards the Dryads and the Treekin if I needed him to. While the Beast and Saval were just going to torment Treekin and Dryads until they absolutely positively had to fight them. Here's his right flank. From left to right, there's his 6 Treekin and his 11 Dryads. Here's his center. On the left there is his Glaive Guard, bigger unit of Glaive Guard, with his level 4 Spell Singer, or Spell Weaver, and his BSB. Right next to them is his Treeman, and right next to them is the other unit of Glaive Guard with his level 2, and right behind them is his Highborn. He's actually not in the unit, he's just hiding behind them. And then here's his left flank with 11 more Dryads. Here's my right flank with 3 Skull Crushers. My center with right to left, my Knights with my BSB. Behind them are his Way Watchers, those scouting bastards. Then there's my Corn Warriors with Berserk. My dogs are in front of them. Tremendous is right next to them, and the Vessel of Change is right next to them. And my left flank with the Beast and Saval. And if you can't tell the difference, then you haven't been paying attention. Here's top of 1 after movement, and for the most part, yeah, I go straight forward. They're Wood Elves. They're not going to come to me. I'm able to march with everything, which is good. I'm able to get pretty far up, which is also good. And the Beast and Saval run away. I kind of have to drop my plans to go after the Dryads and the Treekin to deal with the Scouts. And so my 2 casters go straight after the Scouts. The idea is pull the Dispel Dice with the Beast and then use blue and pink fire to just vaporize the Way Watchers and then move on. They both have really good movement, the Beast with a 6 and Saval with an 8. They're going to be able to get right back over to the Dryads and the Treekin before they can do anything and start, tormenting them with magic. So that was the plan. So we go into the magic phase, and the Beast gets his spell off on the Way Watchers and gets the number 2 spell. So he's able to, he makes them stupid, which is outstanding. And then he makes it so that I think they have to take 4 or 5 toughness checks. I can't remember how many, but he only fails 1. Yeah, it was some impressive rolling. His dice were really failing him for most of the game. They were rolling low, but in this situation, it actually helped him out. So yeah, like I said, as you can see, 1 guy dies, and they are now stupid. The rest of my magic phase is a bust, so we go to bottom of 1 after movement. And like I said, the elves really aren't going to come at me. The Treekin kind of run up to go and try to, take out my flank a little bit. I know he was aiming for my chariot. His Tree Man comes up to deal with the Knights, I think. And his little shooty lord guy runs up behind the cave there in the middle of the table, and he does something fancy in the shooting phase, and he shoots at my Demon Prince. Of course, I stop one with my Charm Shield, but when he tells me that, like, he rolls really bad. He rolls like 3 1s, a 4, and a 6. Well, I blocked the 1, and it just so happened that the one that was on a 6 he wounds with. So I was like, okay. Well, he goes, well, that one is with no armor save. So I was like, oh, maybe because it's a 6 it doesn't do any armor saves, like rending or something like that. I had no idea. I made my ward save, so I was like, who cares? So that's why I don't realize what the arcane bodkins do. Yeah, it makes it so that you get no armor saves at all to any wounds that he does. So that friggin' bow is terrifying for my army. I wish I had known that sooner. I would have put more magic at him. But I didn't, and I'll pay for it later, you'll see. I know, spoiler alert, I'm a jerk. During his magic phase, he gets Throne of Vines off on his Spellweaver, and I just really didn't care. I didn't want him to Spellweave too much, and I didn't want him to Tree Sing too much, and I didn't want him to get Flesh to Stone off, which I was able to stop by letting Throne of Vines go off. However, I believe what's his face, the treeman, does Strangleroot on my dogs and does like 8 hits on them and just myrtleates all of them, which is sad. But everything within 6 inches is either immune to psychology or frenzied. So at least nothing ran away. I'm sure if my chariot was near him, he'd be halfway home by now. So we go to top of 2 after movement, and now that the Way Watchers are stupid, the Mutalisk charges them, and all they can do is stand. They did move over to try to shoot to shoot Saval, because my opponent forgot that at close range, yeah, they have Killing Blow, but it doesn't work on Monster's Cav. So he shot at Saval and wasn't able to wound him or anything like that. So the beast was within like 8 inches of him, charged, made it no problem. They stood and shot, and I don't think they put any wounds through on him. Meanwhile, everything else kind of moved up. My Demon Prince ran up because I was going to Searing Doom his treeman. Remember, I haven't figured out that the general's bow is really dangerous. So I move up to Searing Doom his treeman off the table, and the plan after that was send my knights up to deal with the other unit archers, sweep around, and maybe go after the treekin, or something, I don't know. The, what's it called? The Skull Crushers charged the Dryads on the right flank. I needed like an 8, and I missed it, which sucked. I was 18 inches away. So, no, I needed a 10, and I didn't make it, which sucked. But the Chariots, no, he needed an 8. The Chariot needed a 10, and the Chariot missed. And that wasn't upsetting because I knew the Treekin were going to charge me, and I was going to flee from the Treekin, putting him out of position and giving Saval more time to shoot at him, which is why he's in the forest looking at him. There's a better picture of the beast slamming into the Way Watchers, and anytime I get to kill elves, it's going to be a good turn. There's the unmotivated Crushers. They needed an 8. They didn't roll anywhere close to an 8. I think I rolled like 3 2s. It was breathtaking. And here's the Chariot not making it into the Dryads. He needed a 10. I'm not upset. He actually rolled like a 9, an 8 or a 9. It was really close. But it is what it is. I like taking long shots. I'm a bit of a gambler. I don't know if you've noticed or not. My magic doesn't do anything, so we go straight into combat, and yeah, all but one Way Watcher dies to the awesome that is the Beast. And since the Beast does not sense any threat in them anymore, and I know he needs Snake Eyes to rally, the Beast goes ahead and turns his back on him, and he gets away. I don't care, I need the Beast into the battle. So yeah, the Way Watcher goes away, and after about 3 turns, he doesn't rally, and he runs off the table. Just so that, you know, nobody is wondering what about that loose end. So we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and as you can see, the Treekin did exactly what you expected them to do. They charged the Chariot and failed. And other than that, nothing really happens. His Lord and his Treemen run out to meet the Knights, which made me a little concerned. When I saw his Lord standing out there all by himself, I thought that was a mistake on his part, because I had every intention in the world of sending my BSB out to kill him. My BSB has a 1-up rerollable armor save with a 6-up ward because he's marked Siege. What I don't realize at this point is that his damn general, his bow and stuff like that, is able to do those no armor save wounds. So yeah. So that's kind of, it makes more sense now, but at the time I had no idea what he was doing. Other than that, his archers kind of back up a little bit with his BSB and stuff in him, and the other unit of Glaive Guard kind of move up slightly, not much, and the Dryads run up to try to get into this fight on the left flank. On the right flank, they stay exactly where they are because they are just trying to keep the Skull Crushers baited, I guess, for the rest of the game. Yep, there's a better picture of my Chariot running away from the Treekin charge, because the hell with that. I was lucky here, too, because I only rolled a 5 to flee, and my opponent rolled Snake Eyes and failed his charge, which was awesome. During his magic phase, he tree sings the trees back a little bit, so the Dryads are even harder for my Skull Crushers to charge, which is fantastic. And he gets Flesh of Stone off on his Treeman, which I actually didn't even try to stop, because being toughness 8, 6, 10, I really didn't care. If I actually let him get Flesh of Stone off, and I knew his Treeman was going to be toughness 10, but I had no intention of charging the Treeman whatsoever. In fact, I was going to charge my BSB out into his general at this point with the idea of if the Treeman charged my knights, I was going to flee from him anyway. So be toughness 10 all you want. I really didn't care. I had no intention of dealing with him in combat. I wanted to deal with him with magic. So I used my Dispel Dice to get rid of Throne of Vines, which was, at the time, currently on his Spellweaver. During the shooting phase, this is what I figure out what the hell his general is up to. He takes careful aim and hits all 5 times with his fancy bow, and then with arcane bodkins, or whatever bodkins he has, he wounds 4 times, needing 5s or whatever it was. And holy god, he kills 4 of my guys. That's what he tells me. No armor saves for these. I was like, I thought that was only 6s. No, I rolled a 6 to wound, that's all. Oh, damn. So, needless to say, I don't make any of my ward saves. I've got my BSB and my Knight, my Banner Knight left, and they make their panic check. I know my BSB is immune to psychology, but the knights aren't. And while it was 50-50, just to be on the safe side, we rolled a panic check, and he made it. So now it's just the knight and the BSB, which is actually very common for this army. So that's where we stand there, and that's when I realized that this general is a serious threat. So we go to top of 3 after movement, and as you can see, my BSB did charge, but he didn't charge out of the unit. He brought the knight with him because that way, when he stood and shot, the knight took half the shot so that my BSB could hopefully get in, and that's exactly what happens. My knight takes a shot. He takes 2, and my BSB takes 2, and he wounds my knight twice, and he wounds my BSB once. I'm able to ward save the BSB, and I'm able to let the knight die. So he gets the points for the knights. There's nothing I can do about that. It was well played on my opponent's part. But I get into the combat with his general, and right now I've got a charge and a banner to his nothing, and I'm hoping that the Bodkins thing doesn't what's it called? Extend to his close combat attacks, but I had no idea I had to take the chance. Meanwhile, my Demon Prince slams into the Glaive Guard with his BSB and his level 4 caster in there because they have to die. And my warriors turn to face the Dryads and the Treekin. I know his Tree Man is coming, but I was under the impression that it was a Tree Man, that all Tree Men are heroes and lords. I didn't realize he was a rare choice until later. So that's why I exposed my flank to him. I figured if he charged in, my unit champion will take it. You know, he'll pulverize my unit champion. I'll be stubborn. I'll turn and face him, and that'll be that. And then I can slowly but surely whittle him down. I mean, I'm still going to be frenzied at strength 5. I should be able to kill this guy eventually. But yeah, I knew I was probably going to lose Berserk and everything like that, but I was holding on to hope. Meanwhile, my Skullcrushers charge the Dryads once again and fail once again, and my Chariot rallies. So yeah, it was a good turn-ish. There's a better picture of the Lord Tremendous slamming into the Glaive Guard. And a better picture of my Crushers, still not motivated to go after Dryads. I think it's because it was in the forest. They don't like trees. There's a better picture of the BSB getting ready to avenge the dead knights. And there's the last knight. I just took a picture of that because, you know, they sacrificed themselves bravely so that the BSB could kill an elf. Seems to be a little bit too much of a sacrifice, but hey, you know what? I'm not going to question their judgment. During the magic phase, my beast gets his spell off on the Dryads again, or for the first time anyway, and rolls a 3, and that's awesome because, yeah, right here, +1 ballistic skill for the Dryads and -1 strength. Hell yeah. Strength 3 Dryads. Perfect. And, you know, they're better at throwing their branches now, so who cares? I also get Blue Fire Zinch off on the Dryads, and while I am able to kill a couple off, because he doesn't fail any of his toughness checks against Mutal Spell, but I am able to kill like 2 more of the Dryads off, but they make their toughness check, and they get a 6-up regen because of the Warp Flame special rule, which I still like. You know, it happens, and they've already got a 5-up ward save anyway, so who cares? The ensuing miscast is 7, and Saval's out on his own in the trees. So he destroys a whole bunch of trees with the arcane push away thing that he does, and nobody else cares. It ends my magic phase, but it was over anyway. Over here in combat, I issue a challenge in the hopes that his BSB, or that he'll decline it and I can put his BSB in the back. But no, his BSB accepts it because he's got the annoyance of netlings or whatever. And believe it or not, the funny part is I'm able to actually take a wound off of him with, I actually roll a 6 to hit. So then I'm easily able to wound him. But netlings doesn't matter when you thunder stomp. Yeah, at all. So that's what ended up happening. The BSB did put a wound on my lord, but he got stomped into the ground for his trouble, and the BSB died, which was half the reason I went after this unit. So he doesn't get rerolls anymore. I'm thrilled. He loses combat, but he's steadfast and stays. Over here, Catalyst. What a trooper. He always strikes first, but he doesn't get any rerolls, and he needs 4s to hit this guy because they're the same weapon skill. So I roll 4 dice, I roll 2 5s, a 6, and a 4. I hit all 4 times, first roll, don't even have to worry about it. Then I need 2s to wound, because, you know, he's strength 6 to toughness, pathetic elf, and he does 3 wounds. 3 wounds. Well, all Sir Laughs-A-Lot has is that 3-up ward, which he fails, and then I think it went up to a 5-up or something like that. I think somehow he had a 5-up. I don't remember, but he had a ward save of some sort, and he fails all of them. And 3 wounds, and the Wood Elf Lord is literally just cut to pieces, and that is fantastic. In one fell swoop, he lost his Lord and his BSB. I will take it. And that damn bow is gone too, which is huge. He overruns, but he doesn't go far. He ends up right in front of the Glaive Guard, and if they wanted to charge into him, I was fine with that. But on the Eye of the Gods chart, he rolls the +1 armor save, but since he's already got a 1-up armor save, it goes to the reroll. The eye opens or something like that, and yay, he's got a reroll that I don't use. So we go to bottom of 3 after movement, and as you can see, his Tree Man does slam into my warriors. His Treemen charge the Chariot again, who flees, and he ends up only going like 4 inches again. So his Dryads charge the Chariot and force him to flee some more, and he gets away when he bounces through the Berserk warriors. They both fail their charge when they try to redirect into the war. Well, the Treekin don't try, but the Dryads try to redirect into the warriors and fail. However, the Treeman makes it in no problem. Meanwhile, everything else pretty much just stands still. The Glade Guard don't bother to charge my BSB, and the Dryads in the forest stay in the forest. Better picture of the failed charges of the Treekin and the Dryads. However, the Redwood did make it, and that sucks. During his magic phase, he tree sings in the forest and puts a wound on Saval, which was kind of the reason I had Saval in the forest. You know, he's toughness 5. I'm not too concerned about being tree sung, but it's just basically a way for him to suck out his magic dice. I wasn't expecting to actually wound Saval, so now I'm like, okay, time to get out of the forest, tough guy. And then my fleeing Chariot is close enough to his Tree Man that he gets strangle rooted, and he does 3 wounds. I'm able to ward save a couple. I say a couple. I think 1 to save this thing's life, but he stays in the fight. During combat, I'm actually able to put 2 wounds through on the Treeman. I do try to challenge with the unit champion, and my opponent looks at me like I went full retard and is like, he's not a character, he's a rare choice. I'm like, are you kidding? He's not a character? And he goes, no, he's not an ancient Tree Man, he's a regular Tree Man. And he had said that. I was the one that screwed up. So I was like, oh no. I was like, my whole plan here was to sacrifice my unit champion, turn to face you, and take you out that way. And he's like, no, go ahead. But, you know, he can't accept challenges. I was like, oh crap. So I am able to put 2 wounds through on him, so that's something, but he decimates 7 of my warriors, and he wins this combat, but I'm stubborn. I've got the Crown of Command, I've got more ranks, so I'm like, I'm stubborn, I'm good, right? Wrong, I fail, I roll a 10. The BSB is way out of range, there's nothing I can do, so I roll to flee, I roll a 5, and he rolls boxcars. The warriors and Berserk die, they get run down. And that sucks. My warriors usually do pretty good for me. It's unfortunate. But I won't lie, it broke my heart. I was like, oh, come on! Speaking of stuff like that, my Demon Prince gets issued a challenge this time by his unit champion. You know, he steps up, kisses his wife and kids goodbye once again, and then just feeds himself to Lord Tremendous, which is fine. I always enjoy killing elves. But I win this combat, he's steadfast 8, and his BSB is dead, his general is dead, he rolls a 10. And then he rolls like a 7 or an 8, but Tremendous rolls a 6. No, he rolls like a 4 or a 5. The Tremendous catches him, and they get just decimated. But as you can see, Tremendous doesn't end up off the table, which is awesome. And yeah, the Glaive Guard are gone, his level 4 is gone, his BSB is gone. This is all going really well. So we go to top 4 after movement, and as you can see, the Skull Crushers finally make it into the Dryads, and they pass all 3 of the dangerous terrain checks. My BSB, who couldn't charge the Glaive Guard because they were out of his charge arc, is able to march, and he runs around behind the Glaive Guard so he can get a nice rear charge. And if the Glaive Guard turn to face him, well, that's good too, because hey, now they're shooting at him, and he's got a 1-up armor save. I'm not too concerned about that. The Beast runs over to get out, or the Beast tries to charge Dryads and fails, but he is able to charge far enough, or he's able to go far enough with the failed charge to get out of the range of the Treeman, which was cool. I would have really preferred him to be in combat with the Dryads, but hey, you can't always get what you want. And the Chariot rallies and kind of turns to face like you see him, because I don't really know who I'm going to go after with him yet. During my magic phase, I get my Mutilus spell off on the Dryads yet again, and I roll a 3 again, which is just flippin' outstanding. And I'm able to I end up giving them +1 attack, but I take off 1 of their toughness. So the Dryads are all kinds of warped right now. They've been from Dryads to Drybads. Wah, wah, wah. I know. But not to give them any kind of breathing room, I fire off Blue Flame at them again, and I do like 4 Strength 5 wounds. They die. It goes down to like 4, and then the miscast is a 9. Saval takes a wound. I think Lord Tremendous takes one as well. But I only lose a couple of casting dice, so I'm able to cast 1 more spell, and I fail it. However, the Warp Flame, they fail their toughness check, and 2 more die. So there's 2 Dryads left, and they're all kinds of tore up. -1 strength, -1 toughness, +1 ballistic skill, +1 attacks. Those Dryads are officially useless. Over here in combat, the Skull Crushers slam into the Dryads, and their momentum, even in the forest, just decimates all. I think he's got 3 or 4 left, but I'm done. He does nothing to me. And although they're stubborn in the forest, he fails it, and I run him down, and I end up off the table for my trouble. I do fail 1 dangerous terrain check on the way out, so 1 guy carries a wound on his way off the table. So we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and for the most part, you're looking at it. The tree can charge into my beast and make it. I thought about fleeing, but I was worried that I wouldn't flee far enough, or I'd flee too far. And I was hoping that he would miss it because he needed like an 8 to hit me, and he makes it. So I know the beast is probably dead. It sucks. Meanwhile, his 2 remaining Dryads stand in front of the Demon Prince to stop him from charging his Ancient Treeman, which is fine. I still had no intention to charge that piece of garbage. I was going to try to magic him, and the Dryads can stand wherever they want for that. My BSB... Well, I'm sorry, not my BSB. His Glaive Guard move away from the BSB in order to try to shoot Tremendous down. And while there is a chance of it, I would have been shocked and disappointed. Yeah, this sucks. There's the Treekin slamming into the beast. Oh, my heart sank. During his magic phase, he gets a tree singing off and moves it closer so that when my Skull Crushers come back in, they're still in the forest. Very clever. Now when I try to march to get these guys back into the game, I have to take dangerous terrain checks, and everybody knows how much I like to roll 1s for my dangerous terrain checks. We go into combat after that, and I'm able to put, I think, 1 wound through on the Treekin, but I take 2 wounds onto my beast, so 2 wounds, charge, and a rank to 1 wound. I lose by 3. I need a 5. I don't roll a 5. And the beast dies. He gets run down. I think these things roll like an 11, and I roll a 6 or something. It sucks. My poor beast. He didn't deserve that. He didn't. I do understand why they would kill him, though. After what he did to warp those Dryads, I get it. But damn, I hate it when I lose the beast. So with a heavy heart, we go into top of 5. And the first thing that happens is my PSP is stupid. I roll a 10 and a 10. So, yeah, he stumbles forward a few inches and stops behind the Glaive Guard, so they get a momentary reprieve. The Skull Crushers, they come back on the table and move up into the forest. They couldn't clear the forest, so if I charge or march next turn, they're going to take dangerous terrain. Lord Tremendous tests to march and is able to do so, so he goes around the Dryads and gets right in the face of the Treeman, because I'm going to kill the Treeman if I can with magic, and then I'm going to murder the Treekin with whatever I have left. I will charge Saval's sorry ass in there if I have to. I don't care. The Treekin killed my beast. It's a matter of principle now. It has to die. That whole unit cannot be allowed to survive. The beast must go avenged. There's a better picture of my BSB who went stupid. It's, it happens. What can you do? And during the magic phase, right here, I'm able to get Searing Doom off on his Treeman. I do the big one. I try to Irresistible Force it through. It does not go off Irresistible Force. I'm able to push it through by 2 or 3, and I make him my Birch. See what I did there? See what I did? I burn that bastard in his own bark. That's what he gets. That's what he deserves. Berserk and the Warriors are avenged. To hell with that thing. I'm glad it's dead. Just because I'm on a roll, I had 4 dice left, so I throw Final Transmutation on the Treekin. I roll 1/6. So I'm able to kill one guy. So I feel pretty good about that. So we go to bottom of 5 after movement, and not a whole lot. The Dryads run away to try to salvage those points. The Glaive Guard move forward a little bit to continue firing at Tremendous, and the Treekin fail their stupidity check and march forward to the table edge. They don't go off the table though, so they are still chargeable, which is awesome. There's a better picture of the Treekin, who are so stupid. And during his magic phase, he is able to get tree singing off on those trees, and he kills one of my skull crushers, which is unfortunate. I wasn't expecting to lose any of those guys, but oh well. The resulting miscast of a 9 puts a wound on her, and it ends his magic phase. But who cares? I don't kill it, and I'm planning on being in combat with him on my BSB next turn anyway. So we go to top of 6 after movement, and to stick with my plan, the Demon Prince and the Chariot slam into the Treekin, and I figure my Chariot's dead because he's only got 1 wound left, but that should be enough for it with his impact hits and his extra attacks. Hopefully I can do enough to break these Treekin, because I don't care about losing the Chariot, the Treekin have to die. Tremendous goes into the Treekin as well, and he's got Flaming Breath left over, so I haven't used it yet, and I cannot wait to spring that on these guys because I know they're flammable. Meanwhile, yeah, my BSB once again is stupid. He rolls a 10 and then he rolls a 9. So yeah, he stumbles forward to an inch away from the Glaive Guard, and they actually survive. The Skull Crushers do try to charge the Glaive Guard and fail, but they do manage to take 1 dangerous terrain wound because I'm awesome at that. There's a better picture of Catalyst. He was stupid again. What can you do? Over here, yeah, the Demon Prince and the Chariot, overcome with rage and vengeance needing. Just look at those Treekin and die! They tell them, and they slam in, rear and flank. We plan on eviscerating these things and erasing all memory of them from the planet. There's a better picture of the Skull Crushers failing their 3rd charge of the game, and I appreciate that, Skull Crushers. I hope you enjoy your time on the shelf after the Shiloh. During my magic phase, I get enchanted blades off on my Demon Prince just because, like I said, I want to make sure these things die. And we go into combat. And my opponent, he had a unit champion in that unit. Didn't know it at the time. So he issues a challenge. I have no choice but to accept it with Tremendous. And I do 3 wounds to him, I think, and he saves 1. So he's getting all ready to throw his attacks back, and I just had that feeling. You know that feeling you get when you know something bad is about to happen? So I was like, nope. Nope. I'm going to go ahead and use my Flaming Breath, and I torch his ass, and he dies. Then my Chariot's impact hits and his extra wounds. He's actually able to, he doesn't hit me at all. He rolls like 3 2s to hit. So the one Treekin that's able to attack my Chariot isn't able to hurt him, which is perfectly fine with me. They lose combat by a boatload, but they're steadfast because I couldn't get rid of their rank. However, they break anyway, and Lord Tremendous does not even deem them worthy of his pursual, so the Chariot goes after them. They end up running away from the Chariot, just on a random. Tremendous makes his restraint roll, and the Chariot ends up running them down, so that's awesome. So we go to bottom of 6 after movement, and as you can see, this is pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on. His Glaive Guard move up to try to get some extra points. The Dryads continue to stay where they are, and that's pretty much all he's got left. However, my opponent, you gotta give it to him. He takes his Glaive Guard, he fires off his shots at my Chariot, and he does 1 wound, and it slips through. I roll a 2, and then I roll a not a 6, and the Chariot dies. So at the last second, he gets an extra 120 points. Very well done. What can you do? But there it is, end of the game. I end up with my Demon Prince, Saval, my BSB, and my Skull Crushers. He has a unit of Dryads, Glaive Guard, and a level 2 caster left. We don't even bother a total of points because it's pretty obvious who won. But we will get to that in a minute, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Tokens, fellas. Tokens, tokens, tokens. Wound counters, augment markers, hex markers, uh, every status, ailment, and effect you can think of, from not being able to move to the lore attributes to the lore hexes and bonuses that they provide. Everything that you can think of that you could need a marker for, that we use dice for, Token Grail makes the tokens. Send her an email, tell her what you need. Any gaming system, from Magic the Gathering to Infinity to Malifaux to 40k to Fantasy, whatever you need tokens for, she will make them, and they come out they're flawless. Look at them. They're the glass beads. They magnify the words in the picture, so they're really easy to see from, the tabletop and everything like that. They're a lot more accurate than dice, and they're dirt cheap, guys. She sells them for less than $10 a kit. Uh, Dirt cheap prices, solid gold quality. Totally worth it. Send her an email, get yourself some tokens. The only request that I make is that if you are overseas, if you're outside of America, before you send her an email, you have to understand that shipping prices are through the roof. So as long as you're okay with paying like $30+ shipping fees, don't send her an email, because it's just going to waste both your times. But if you are in America or you don't mind high shipping fees, then by all means send her an email, get yourself some tokens. Totally worth it. So yeah, in the end it turned out to a victory for Lord Tremendous, but it was not so one-sided this game. I did win by a large margin. I had a lot of my characters left, but my warriors, let's say I lost Berserk, my warriors, my warhounds, my chariot, my knights, and the beast, which hurt. Which is a hell of a lot more than I lost last time. The Wood Elves ended up losing everything but one unit of Glaive Guard, a Spellsinger, and some Dryads, or one unit of Dryads. But it was impressive, to say the least, because he was able to, really step up his game with Wood Elves, of all things. And he's not playing that guerrilla tactic one either. It's a much more in-your-face one. So my opponent is learning really, really fast. His list is a lot more dangerous. It had a lot more tricks in it. So yeah, I think a couple more tweaks, some more practice game stuff like that, I could see coming back from the Shiloh this weekend and playing against them and getting my ass handed to me. So much of this is thanks to you guys, the amazing support that you guys, the advice, the lists, everything. You guys are a hell of a resource, a hell of great subscribers. I really appreciate everything. I know he appreciates it because he likes to beat me, but it's just, yeah, I think maybe Death is helping him out too, but he's a filthy dark elf, so why am I not surprised? But seriously though, guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for helping him out and stuff like that. That's really awesome. It's really good to know that we got a community like that watching my battle reports. I really appreciate it. And hey, if there's something I can do in return, by all means ask. But yeah, back to the game. Searing Doom. I love Searing Doom. I really, 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 really do. That spell is amazing. Anything with a 4-up armor save or better is pretty much my bitch. Unless it has an amazing ward save. I really like Searing Doom. All in all, though, I mean, it was a pretty solid game. I mean, the first time, whenever anybody takes over a game or an army for the first time, it's not that hard to beat them. But in this one, I really had to think, and there was some serious upsets on both sides of the table. It was like, oh my. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game a lot. I mean, I always enjoy my games, but this one I really enjoyed a lot. It was very, very challenging, and let's face it, I was really only a spell or two away from losing this one. If I hadn't gotten Searing Doom off and my Demon Prince ended up in combat with that Treeman, there's a very good chance I wouldn't have been able to kill the Treeman. I mean, I might have been able to. Don't get me wrong, it would have been a good fight, but there was a lot of things that really kind of turned around. I lost a lot of stuff to Wood Elves. So anybody who says they're not viable should really pay closer attention, because I think they are. I'm really looking forward to their new book release this summer too. That's going to be very cool to see what direction they go in. But yeah, his new Lord with that no armor save arrow thing is brutal. I'm going to have to target him with magic sooner. And like I said, it was really nice playing against the Wood Elves and stuff like that. But it was an outstanding game, and I can't wait to play the next one, which will be after the 2014 Shiloh GT, which is this weekend, which I'm really excited about. I've got some games, some of the subscribers and stuff like that, people that watch my channel wanted to play some games over there. If if it's at all possible, when we get there, I'm hoping to get into the area on Friday around anywhere from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., somewhere in that block. Once we check in at a hotel, I don't know what my buddies are planning to do or whatever, but I want to Warhammer out. I don't want to see the sights. I don't care about the sights. I want to Warhammer out. So if I can get directions to the store. I believe that the hotel area, the tournament area, won't be available that day. But if I can get to your store, which I hear is like a half hour away from the hotel or something like that, I would love to play. Anybody who wants to play, I will happily do battle reports, and I can be bribed. Soda, I love Coca-Cola. I do. It's true. And I also love anything that's bad for me. Okay, I collect calories. So yeah, I can be bribed. You know, it's very possible. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you want to, it's possible. And yeah, yeah. But I hope to see a bunch of people out there. Hope to make some of your acquaintances and stuff like that, and make some new friends or whatever, and possibly get my ass kicked on the table a few times. That'd be great. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.